ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Charlie, I have some good news.
What's that news?
It's Thursday!
I like it.
Which you already said, which makes me happy, but still, it's always good to be here on Thursday.
I like it.
And there's Smarties here, so I have to eat those.
Okay, yeah, you have one, I have one.
That's very fair. It is alive! The terrible crime that was music against Sam's ears is
it's called the No Copyright Song List.
Yes.
So it's like dubstep, house music, I don't know.
I like house music, but dubstep just makes my eardrums not work correctly. It's like,
I have a problem with Smarties.
What?
I said I have a really big problem with Smarties.
I can tell you can't even use your grammar correctly. It's devastating, sir. Just devastating.
No, I eat them 3 at a time.
Why is that a problem?
I don't know, because I'm done.
I haven't got mine wrapped yet. So, how are you doing in this wonderful night, sir?
Let's do this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Charlie, your host, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
I'm glad I could be here, and we have survived the week, and then we could be here 7 days removed from the last Thursday night hangout to fulfill, once again, our duty, obligation, and love of sharing all things video game related and news with the people of the interwebs.
Well, let's start off by saying that we actually chatted, hung out with a bunch of y'all starting at 2 a.m. Saturday until 2 p.m.
2 p.m.?
Not 2 a.m. Sorry, man. My brain's still not completely here after the Extra Life 24-hour Game-a-thon, but I did it. Actually, it's 25 because the time changed. But whatever.
I was actually up the whole time, too.
So for those out there who were wondering what games I played, I did play The Evil Within 2, which I'm still playing. I played some Fidget. I, of course, played Paladins. I played some Smite. I played some Metronomicon, some Overfall. What else did I play?
Did you mention Smite?
Yeah, I did Smite.
Did you mention Paladins?
Yep.
What about the scary game?
Yep, Evil Within 2.
What about Sky Hill?
Oh, that's right, I did play Sky
You
Hill.
didn't play Sky Hill very long, but you did.
No, that was just kind of a filler because I had to wait till my kid was ready to go to bed.
Well, because I remember, like, you were done playing Paladins, and you're like, man, I need to play a game, and this game I want to play, but it's not time to play it yet.
Because I had to go back upstairs to put my kid down.
So, I played one game the entire night.
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2! I played, like,
Dun, dun, dun.
14 hours of Destiny 2 on Saturday. It was glorious.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes? Wait,
let's jump. What?
I'm busy. Okay, never
Oh
mind.
my God. Let's jump right into it, and let's start off with a little bit of sad news, and that is, my friends, the former Team Liquid Overwatch coach, the one and only INTERNETHULK, has passed away at the age of 30. This gentleman was a very seasoned veteran. He played World of Warcraft, StarCraft 2, League of Legends, and of course Overwatch. They don't know what's happened to him, but of course, you know, when an eSports guy, unfortunately passes, it's a very sad moment. And
Well, and obviously 30 is very young to pass away for whatever reason. You just, it's sometimes, we enjoy life, living, playing video games. Sometimes you just got to take a little bit of stock and realize, you don't know when your time's going to be. It could be today, it could be the drive home, it could be 60 years from now.
Well, the thing is,
just gotta have to...
it's not been too long since one of the best Smite players, Allied, when he was healthy, passed away because of cancer. Now, of course, there's no information as to what caused the death of INTERNETHULK, but, thoughts and prayers with his family members. And
you do kind of have to wonder. I mean, I know, OD is always something that comes to mind for somebody that age, and obviously one of the big questions around esports is not necessarily drug use, but more of like the amphetamine side of drugs. Keep you really awake and playing at a hyperactive level, because that's playing. When you're really into a game, you have to be hyper-focused.
Yep.
And if you're a split second late on that super important decision, like that's the difference between you dying and your opponent dying. So, and I'm not speculating about Hulk, I have no idea why.
Right.
But just in terms in general of, esports, I could see that potentially being an issue of drug use in terms of being the best of the best.
Right.
And, figure, how hard is it for us to, sit at a computer, 8 hours a day if you have an office desk
Right.
job.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this is your livelihood. us, okay, if I slack off a little at work someday, life goes on the next day.
You're
You
doing
slack
training
off
at least like 12 hours a day.
you slack off in eSports one match, your job could be gone. They're going to get the next, 16-year-old hyperactive.
Actually, 18.
Yeah, right, because of the rules, yes.
Well, for Overwatch Pro League.
Correct.
There's probably a little bit more leeway with other. I don't know, and maybe it's a universal thing. I just know that that one of the best players of Overwatch is not allowed to join the Pro League because he's only 16.
Yeah. So it's sad, and hopefully, if anybody has, problems or issues, get that resolved. Don't let, especially if you're 30 years old, man, don't let it take control.
I do hope that. It's tragic that someone died at the age of 30. I hope it wasn't, like abuse, like substance abuse or taking of his own life. If that is the case, then anybody out there who has, who needs help, there's amazing websites and phone numbers that there are people there that want to talk to you. So
I will say it would probably be really hard to drink a lot and be an esports athlete. That's one thing I wouldn't think of mixed because of the slowing of your reflexes. Because it's typically for most people depressant, and now all of a sudden you lose that ability to react more efficiently and quicker.
Well, just hypothetically, I'm not saying that I know of anyone who does this, but what I've heard. Thanks, Sam. Sam saying Charlie drinks too much dew. Get help, brother.
That's a good point.
I did completely go cold turkey for 2 months. And then my doctor actually said, no, dude, you've got to get back on it because that's actually medically
So you have
needed.
a dependency on Mountain Dew. There's something sketchy about that, I'm just saying.
No, it's the caffeine. I have to have a little bit of, I have to have caffeine incorporated. Not the extreme amount I used to be drinking, which was 5 Kickstarters a day or maybe 8 cans of Mountain Dew a day. I don't do that much
Just
anymore.
5.5.
No, I do 4.
Oh,
if
wow.
that. That's the max, okay? I'm except for the extra life thing. I'll fully admit that.
Except,
It was 6 though. I didn't drink too many. I had some water, I had some juice, and then of course I had my Mountain Dew, but it wasn't outrageously crazy.
Yes.
So
we're talking about drinking.
Right. But there have been rumors that individuals do partake in the heavy liquor to kind of calm themselves, to knock down the anxiety, and to kind of with the calming, you kind of out of body experience, and then you do an upper to basically hyper vigilant.
That's a good way to get shock your system.
Right, but that has hypothetically been some of the when you're talking about the not the in-person LAN tournaments, because if you reek of alcohol, they're going to say something. But if you're playing, if you're playing the what the hell is it called? For Smite, there's a Competitors Cup where you're trying to come up the ranks. You could get away with that, and hell, you potentially could technically get away with it at some of the events if no one's really watching you closely. But I'm pretty sure people are going to watch you closely, especially if you're trying to pop something in your mouth.
Well, I think there's also a little bit of difference between, let's just take a swig of Jack Daniels versus, drinking a fifth. There's no between, I guess when I was thinking about drinking playing esports, I could, have a drink and still function perfectly fine. I'm talking, having a 6-pack every time you play, your esports game, unless you're a professional.
Sam Rizzo, Josh Gordon, football player, wide receiver, hasn't played in the NFL for the past 3 years because he's had substance abuse. He drank before every single football game and was lights out. There are other football players who have come out and said that they did drugs beforehand. They ate a 4-course meal beforehand. They drank until they couldn't see straight type of situation.
And it's also a very interesting sport. If you do that, let's just take basketball. I think if a player tried doing that as basketball, he'd just be terrible in the court. He'd be stumbling.
Well, not drunk, but you could drug use is definitely.
But football's a sport where it seems because you have such different body types and they're very specific subset of skills.
Sam S. wouldn't consider alcohol. Would you? Actually, I would guess you're saying, would you consider alcohol a PED?
I think it's pretty reasonable to say that. I don't find it unreasonable to say you shouldn't be like to have it against the rules to drink alcohol before a match. I don't consider that unreasonable.
Yeah, I would assume that there's probably like rules in the contract, but I don't think anyone's going that you can't have a drop of liquor or beer before a game. I don't think that that's a thing. I think that if you're drunk as a skunk and that you show it, you're probably gonna get suspended for whatever the damn rule is. I can't.
Well, PEDs in general, to me, is such a spectrum of what is truly PED. The issue you've seen with esports specifically, and heck, I mean, you see it in other pro sports, is prescription drugs. You know, the argument, some people legitimately need Prozac and opiates to function, and yet some umbrella organizations want to make those illegal. So you get a situation where it's like, wait, I actually need this specific chemical compound to be a functional adult. But then you have the other potential issue is some of these opiates are extremely easy to get prescribed. So people don't actually need those to function. For them, it truly is. Like, to me, I don't consider PED if you need it to be a functioning adult. But then you have some people who get it because they can function just fine on their own, but now they're getting this to get an extra edge that other people wouldn't have otherwise. So that's where it starts getting in that gray area of what, is the PED, what are we going to ban? And, you see this with tennis players all the time, where they get banned for substances that they thought, that's what happened to Maria Sharapova. She was taking a substance that had been legal for years, and then all of a sudden got banned. It doesn't excuse her for what happened.
Well, the thing was that she was granted the ability to use it while she was doing a recovery. The thing is that she continued use after that time of recovery.
It had also been legal before that, for a while.
Right, but that's a substance abuse.
Yeah, but you see this with a lot of people where, I don't know what her intent is, if she meant to skirt the rules or not. And I believe a lot of these people who do get caught, some of them don't intentionally mean to, because it's so, it's a huge list. It's not like it's like, you just can't take, Adderall. That's the only thing. No, it's like a huge, crazy list.
It's like a chemical compound that you have to, if you go to, what the hell's that thing called? The muscle mix and stuff
oh, yes.
place.
GNC.
GNC.
Yes.
Literally every single thing that you have at GNC, you got to ask the doctor.
Correct. And then what happens is, and I can believe it. What happens if you ask a doctor and he
says okay?
And that's the problem. If he says it's okay and he's incorrect, you're still on the hook.
Right.
And to be fair, NFL teams, and NBAs, they're like, ask us. We have all the stuff. Don't just ask your own personal doctor. We want you to be out there on the court. Come ask us if this is legal or whatever for that exact reason, because they are extremely strict. And they're not going to have any mercy. They'll be like, sorry, you should have known better, which I'm fine with them saying that, you're making millions of dollars. You've got to cover your own behind too.
Okay, real quick, I just want to do this real quick and then we'll move on. And that is that if Big Farm were to basically get punted in the balls and the government would just relax a little bit. There are natural substances that don't have any of the crazy ass side effects of medicine that could help individuals out, that would cover a spectrum of issues. However, it's deemed illegal either because Big Farm said it is, and so they're lining the pockets of people, or it's been illegal forever, so why would you change it?
You're referring to pharmacy drugs, not FARM, correct? You're referring to
PHARM.
Yeah, pharma, not pharma. When you first said it, I thought you meant corn growers. I'm like, interesting.
Thank you.
Yes,
Ed.
Big Pharma, yes.
Yeah, look, there was, I can't remember what it was, but it's a naturally occurring thing that actually was helping a lot of people, but it got outlawed.
Yep.
But there was no dependency on it. There's no addictiveness to it. It was hurting Big Farm's bottom line.
So weed?
No, it wasn't weed. It was, I can't remember what it was. It was literally something off a small little plant that's not weed.
Well, of course, because then they can't capitalize on it.
Exactly.
Because they can't monetize it. Because if you can grow it in your own, kitchen, then how are they going to stay in business? And you're going to hurt small businesses across America, and you're going to kill jobs, man. Why are you such a job killer?
Look, legalize weed, make it like government controlled, just like the fucking food, and then you can have huge amount of money coming back in because of the sales. You could put taxes on the damn thing, but that's just, whatever.
It's irrational to me that alcohol is perfectly legal and weed's not. Like, if alcohol wasn't, then, kind of like prohibition, be like, well, whatever.
Right.
But it's kind of like in college. If you're going to be around a bunch of people, you want to be around a bunch of people who are like, shit-faced plastered or who are
just
high.
stoned.
Yeah, stoned. I'm like, if you're with people who are stoned, you're just going to chill. If you're the people who are drunk, you're going to have like a riot and people are going to get their face punched in because that's what happens when you're around stupid college drunk people.
No, yeah. Usually when you're around people who are stoned who start a fight, no, dude, you suck.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Wait, what did you say?
What are we doing?
Just give me another.
All right.
Moving on.
So we started on a sad note with Overwatch. Now let's go on a high note for Overwatch, and that, of course, is that the Overwatch Pro League, not the current Overwatch League, which is now just called the Overwatch eSports League. The Overwatch Pro League is the one that has 12 location locked teams.
Is this the team that Charlie's trying out for, right?
No.
You got your tier scales ready?
Actually, real quick, Ed says the reason they can't control that in the government is because you could grow weed in your closet, hence not taxable, and regardless of what many who advocated think, it is not the miracle drug we all think it is. True, but it definitely has less side effects than some of the medicine that people are on for like anxiety and chronic pain. Okay, so the 12 teams, this is it. This is what the first season's going to have.
Tell us.
You have the Los Angeles Gladiators. You have the Florida Mayhem. You have the Philadelphia Fusion, the London Spitfire, Houston Outlaws, New York Excelsior, Seoul Dynasty, Boston Uprising, Los Angeles Valiant, San Francisco. LA's got 2 teams. San Francisco Shock, Dallas Fuel, and Shanghai Dragon.
I really like the Boston Uprising. It's a very appropriate name for them.
All right, so that's the 12 teams, and the inaugural season will start in 2018, and there will be all this will take place at the new Blizzard Arena in Burbank, California. The regular season will start January 10th, with the preseason taking place December 6th. So you could say that you can actually see what it's all about starting actually in a month, and kind of get a feel for it. And then, of course, you could choose your team if you want to. Each team will play twice per week, with games running Wednesday through Saturday. The season will consist of 4 5-week stages. Stages reset records after each iteration, and playoffs will be seeded by a mix of stage record and overall record.
Whoa.
There'll be 2 divisions. The Pacific Division, which will hold Dallas, San Francisco, both LA teams, the Shanghai team and the Seoul team, and the Atlantic Division, Houston, Florida, Philly, New York, Boston, and London.
Right.
In each stage, a bonus of $125,000 will be awarded, with $500,000 total across the stage. Half of that will go to the players per Overwatch League rules, and the remaining half will be paid to the organizers.
So you're guaranteed that the players are actually getting money, which has been one of the issues with some of these previous esports tournaments. Is there's been a number of reports where esports teams, especially in the MOBAs, they go to a tournament. They're supposed to get X amount of money paid to them, typically after the tournament's over, and then the tournament's out, and the organizer's like, yeah, about that paycheck that's supposed to be coming to you.
Well, there's a couple issues. One, some of the sponsors actually basically took all the money and didn't give it to the players, or they did give it to the players, but it was such a minuscule amount that the players weren't actually, it wasn't what you call livable wage.
But with Blizzard, I mean, especially with the money they're talking about,
yeah, you've got a salary, okay?
Yeah, there's no question.
You're actually getting paid, but you're getting bonuses for doing well.
Incentives in sports? Is that like all against sports and stuff, man? In team play?
That's what every single thing does. Usually every single coach or professional player has a bonus initiative to, like, if you get, I don't know, 15 sacks, which is insane. But let's just say that there is a clause in your contract that 15 sacks, you get $5 million. So you want to hit those incentives. Of course, the incentive would be win this stage, win the finals, and then you get a bunch of money. The beautiful thing, of course, is that they're actually getting paid. So they're not having to live from paycheck to paycheck. They know that they're going to get paid. It's just they can get more if they're awesome. All right, so the playoffs will start July 11th. But this has a location that is yet to be determined.
Ooh.
All right, so every single game, the preseason and the regular season for Overwatch Pro League will happen in the Blizzard Arena in Burbank, California, which is a little weird because you have 2 LA teams and a San Francisco team that are literally, like, I don't know, within a couple hours from Burbank.
So you think it's getting some hometown favoritism there?
I think so. I mean, it's going to be really hard for, you've got these location-locked teams like London.
But they're going to transplant to LA for the duration of the season.
Right, but at the same time, if you want fans, you want to cheer for the home team. It would be like, let's just do college football because I know that this will spark Zealeus here. Let's say that you were born and raised, which you are.
I'm already angry.
A Georgia Bulldog,
Yeah.
okay? But the entire season is going to be played in Eugene, Oregon.
Oh, that'd be weird.
You could cheer for them, but they're always going to be on the West Coast.
Well, I think that remains to be seen with eSports, especially because, you got the eSports guys, they have their headphones on. So I wonder, like, how much is that even going to affect them having the audience like that?
No, I don't think that it's going to.
I don't think you have a home field advantage.
It's not a home field advantage. The thing is, it's going to be easier for the LA teams and the San Francisco teams not to only support their team, but also be there to represent. How are you, as a London fan? Yeah, they've got the name of London, but I can't get out there every single week to see them.
Yeah,
I can cheer for them online, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. When I watch, because I'm a huge Smite fan.
Sure.
When I watch it via a streaming service, I'm not all that into it. I might go, yay. But when I'm actually at the Smite World Championship, wow.
Smite World Championship?
No, I know. I slipped into Southern there for a second. Smite World Championship.
You betcha.
When I'm there, actually at a live place, and I feel the energy, that's when, like, literally I get so pumped that when I go home, I need to play some more Smite to see, like, to maybe glimpse just a little bit of what the hell they were doing and hopefully remember what their meta and their, whatever the structure is that they did so that maybe I could be super like them.
So in a way, it's kind of like if they're playing in just LA, that's the only place they're playing. What's even the point of having landlocked teams?
I know.
If the competition's landlocked and LA only. So in
Right.
that regard, I see your point. Like, why are they even landlocked in the first place?
Because, okay, so maybe they are going to be transplanting themselves in Burbank for the duration. However, they have families, like, which they're not going to see. What, in my honest opinion, for all these locations, one of the requirements should have been: is there an arena that would be able to hold matches
and have like rotating matches? That would have made more sense to me actually. Like do like rotating, have like a week on, week off kind of for travel and stuff. Then do the next week like in this night. And all the cities you mentioned have to have some kind of arena like that. I mean, these are all metropolitan centers.
Right. Okay. I understand. I mean, LA is LA. I mean, they literally have 2 teams per sport.
Yeah.
So I understand that these two, the Valiant and the Gladiators, share a damn arena. That's cool. But Houston, they've got a ton of. I mean, you could go to Dallas though. Houston, Dallas people, ping lag an issue for mixed locations. Ooh. Well, but it would be LAN.
Yeah, it would still be. We're still talking like you go to Houston one week to do your LAN competitions there. Then you go to New York the next week to do your LAN competitions there. But
So the areas would be the host spot. It wouldn't be like LA is playing Boston, so LA goes over to Boston. It would just be a rotation of a centralized location, so everyone gets a little bit of it. Actually, let's see here. So, hold on, let me do the math here. So they play twice a week with games running. The season will consist of 4 5-week stages. So twice a week for 5 Okay, twice a week for 5 weeks. No.
10.
Okay, so that's 10. So 10 times 4 is 40, and there's 12 teams. So technically, three rounds during the entire thing. Teams, different locations wouldn't work. Right. I mean, if you were, this is way too, since it's the inaugural season, trying to have like Florida go to Seoul.
I think that's part of it. It is the inaugural season, so just kind of keep it simple. I think that's kind of what they're going with.
Right, but I just feel like, in my honest opinion, not having ever played Overwatch or really seen, the type of setup they do for an Overwatch like championship or eSports league, it just feels like you're hurting yourself more than helping yourself, because the people who paid to get these teams, remember, to just enter this damn thing was a $20 million entry fee. So they have a place to play, okay? If they don't, they know someone who has a place to play.
Well, one of the cool things too that I like what they're doing is they're also adding team colors.
Oh yeah.
So when you play, like whatever your team color is, they can customize that for the matches, and they're also gonna, because one of the drawbacks that when this first came out, the Overwatch community is a little bit skeptical because it's the third-party viewing perspective for Overwatch has not exactly been ideal.
Right.
And that's one of the things Blizzard said is before this comes out, they're going to improve that and also have a better third-party, third-person viewing experience. So that for those of us who want to spectate and watch it, because right now basically they can watch it is like through another person and just kind of rapid go. So hopefully they'll improve that so it's much more viewable, because obviously Blizzard wants people watching these games.
Well, absolutely.
That's the whole point.
And to that statement, they said that there are changes coming to the spectator mode. Team uniforms have been created for each team, changing the colors of every single character so that you know what team they're on, which would be huge because sometimes you're in this huge battle and your characters are all in like a huge mush. And yeah, sure, you know that this person has this character, or this person has that, or that team has this character. But to actually be able to color code it so that you have a better understanding of what team's on what, that'd be awesome. Also, the game will also have multiple cameras, including a third-party perspective, a map view, and instant replay.
Yeah.
So, Shazam! All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next story. And that, of course, is, ladies and gentlemen, I know that a lot of you did stop by during our Ultra Confusion extra live stream this past Saturday.
Some of us in person.
And I would like to thank everyone who came out and all of those who donated on that day or before that day. Now, I know that there's some of you out there who may have missed your chance to donate. Have no fear. You have until the end of the year to donate, either to Ultra Confusion or anybody that you wanted to donate to. Of course, all of these donations are tax deductible and all the proceeds go to the affiliate associated with the Children's Hospital Miracle Network. For Ultra Confusion, of course, that's the Children's Healthcare Atlanta, because I basically lived my entire life in Atlanta. I've spent a lot of time there.
They've already got a lot of your money.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of my parents' money and some of my money too. But thank you for everyone who came out, and the best of luck to those who haven't done their extra live stream yet. I know that Whacked Kid, I believe he's doing it this weekend.
Right on.
Because he was at a convention. So the best of luck to Whacked Kid.
Or Bonsai.
Yeah, BonsaiCon. But, you know, if you can donate to Extra Life, to whomever in Extra Life, that would be amazing.
It's all for a good cause.
It is absolutely for a good cause. It's for the kids.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, this is one that Zealeus is really excited about.
So, Microsoft, with the Xbox One S release, has announced that they're changing course again. And now they're going to do an online video game streaming service, or try to do it again. So the big difference, I think, with Microsoft now versus, let's say, 3 years ago when the Xbox One was first, coming to fruition, is their cloud performing centers that they have now with their Azure data centers that they didn't have before. So before, when Microsoft was trying to look at doing all this stuff, they weren't really quite the cloud kind of becoming a beast now that they were not back then. Versus now, where they have all this cloud infrastructure so they can actually have these cloud streaming services ready to pipe to you and me in our rooms. Now, of course, the issue that we're always going to ask you, which Sony, who's been doing this for years, has still not solved yet, is lag. It's just the simple nature of things when you're playing a game that's streaming over the internet, and you have to, especially for very fast-paced games, there's no way to avoid input lag. It's just as simple as that. So like, especially like turn-based games, strategy games, okay, great, who cares since there's a little bit lag. But if you're especially like an online competitive game, or
Where
like a sports
every
game,
single
or every
millisecond counts.
like that's when the user experience falls apart. So I think it depends, like Dark Souls, ooh, like extra super challenge mode.
Dude, that would not be cool.
No, that'd be terrible. So I see why Microsoft is doing it, and it goes back to the whole subscription-based service. You don't actually own anything online anymore. It's all subscription-based. It's all just a contract for goods.
It's a service.
Yes.
I mean, it's what it is.
That's what they all want to do. SaaS. It's all service on the cloud. You don't actually own anything.
And of course, this would absolutely 100% kill used games, which is the publishers and developers' main objective. Is they want to make money for every single product sold. Now, however, if we're talking about a subscription service, then it gets a little bit weird, because then you're probably going to have to factor in, because it's going to be a set cost for a streaming service. Then you have to factor in, okay, so does the money break down evenly, or is it concurrent users?
Yeah.
Or is it the amount of unique users that determines the money? I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but it's not like this is going to happen tomorrow. It's projected to be in the next 3 years, which is vague.
Well,
but that's Microsoft for you.
And the other thing, too, that Microsoft is kind of like a little bit footnote, is they'll also want to rededicate themselves to making what's the right term here?
First party.
Yes, thank you. First party developer games. Which, the trend with the, Microsoft and Sony is selling off their first party developers.
Because it's expensive. If your games suck, it's expensive because you're taking a direct hit.
Yeah.
If it's a publisher whose game sucks, you could just disassociate yourself with the publisher and you just go on.
So Microsoft, again, is changing track again. And now it's like, hey, we're also going to dive back into the first party business. So who knows if that's actually going to happen? Because
you know what? One of the last Microsoft first party developer decisions, which probably was an absolute just crap bomb of nastiness, was their decision to create Halo War 2. You can't do a real-time strategy game that requires squads on a console.
It just doesn't work.
It does not work. Ever.
So, them, I would imagine this might also maybe, who knows, have something to do with the HoloLens.
Also, side note, Halo Wars was the reason why Ensemble Studios closed, because it was an absolute failure. So for you to go, we're going to make another one. What are you doing?
But
really?
Halo is also, to be fair, very popular at its time, and it helped to push a lot of the Xbox units. And with the Xbox,
but Halo,
correct,
not Halo War.
And Xbox is still following behind PlayStation in terms of sales. So I think Microsoft is looking at this and still being like, okay, how can we, because Microsoft, kind of Sam's question is, the Xbox clearly has the superior hardware. Now, if the Xbox S release, it clearly outstrips the PlayStation and obviously anything Nintendo has in terms of hardware. $500, I don't think it's worth it quite yet.
No.
And the other issue too, which I think is more the point, nobody actually owns 4K TVs yet.
Well, somebody
some
does, and they could probably go, $500 is a drop in a bucket.
Now, to be fair, 4K TVs you can get for under $1,000 nowadays.
Still.
It's still a big investment, no doubt. But just that push for 4K gaming, it's still ahead of its time.
You're talking to a dude who has, what size is that monitor?
It's like a 17-inch, I think.
17-inch monitor. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't have a 4K TV.
You can get one on Black Friday, I'm sure.
No. I'll do Cyber Monday.
You can camp out at Best Buy.
No, I did that once, never again.
I did it once, it was great.
I can't, okay, so real quick, I did a Black Friday once.
I did it with you before too.
Yeah, I know. And I ended up with like cheap memory cards for a camera or something. Yeah, for the camcorder.
Oh, yeah.
That I still have.
So when I lived in Mankato, Minnesota. One of my favorite traditions on Thanksgiving. Yeah,
When
remember,
both bridges were working.
remember, Minnesota at the end of November, so it was really cold. My drive home, Best Buy was on the way, and I usually getting home from my relative's place, around 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and seeing all the people camping out the night before at Best Buy. And that was always like one of my Thanksgiving traditions, is seeing the campers out at Thanksgiving, or for Black Friday. But to Charlie's point, why do Black Friday when there's Cyber Monday? There's just not really a very good reason for Black Friday anymore.
Well, the thing is, Black Friday, you're going to have to probably punch a couple people, or push people, or maybe kick people, spit on people, scream obscenities to people, and possibly get in trouble. However, if you're going to do Cyber Monday, yeah, you could scream and yell and punch, but you're going to be just probably destroying your own stuff, or perhaps your company provides stuff, which then you get in trouble. But there's a lot less chance of you having to beat the shit out of someone with a toaster oven because they grabbed the last boom box at the very low price.
And to Ed Seller's point, I'm not a gamer, but I do have a 4K TV, simply because I take movies seriously, and I got a very good deal on it. You can actually, there's a brand called TCL, which I've been looking at. You can get a 4K TV from them for $598 at Best Buy.
Is that like a home brand? Or?
It's probably just there's really 3 companies that make all the TVs in the world.
Samsung.
And they just rebrand it for whatever. It's kind of like Publisher, you know. They just rebrand it for their own.
Or cell phone companies.
Yeah,
like Metro PCS and Boost Mobile and whatever the hell else is out there. Those are not separate entities from AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, and Verizon. They're just a different demographic phone service.
So I'm sure TCL doesn't make their own panels. It's probably like a Panasonic just rebranded.
Panasonic.
But you can get the 4K TV for $600, which, if we think about it, I remember, I did get a Black Friday plasma screen TV. What was that, 2007 now? It was 42-inch. It was like $600 for a 42-inch 720p plasma TV. And that was a crazy good deal at the time. And now we're talking 4K TVs for under $600. It's amazing what you can get, what the money will buy for a TV.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with buying a 4K TV in addition to gaming is I don't actually buy physical media anymore. Like my DVD player is my Xbox 360. So as far as streaming 4K content goes, it doesn't even do me good because like Netflix and that stuff, you don't even stream 4K, or if you do, it's very artifact and compressed 4K in the first place. Because to stream a true 4K movie to your house, like 3 movies would eat your entire bandwidth data cap, because the data is so high. Now, if you have the setup with the actual, good Blu-ray player, and you got the 4K TV with the audio, I say that's awesome. Go for it. I just don't have that type of setup. I wish I could. I'm not going to lie. I would love to have the whole 5.1, 7.1 surround sound TV with the 4K TV and the Blu-ray player and all the Shazamming. I would love it. But I'm just not there, and I'm probably never going to be, just because Netflix and Amazon Prime and YouTube TV is so freaking accessible. Yep, I remember the first one we got was over 1,000. It was LCD and 42-inch. I remember we were so impressed back in, Charlie remembers my old house, when we got the big screen, but we're talking the old tube TV.
We're talking the box.
And that damn thing probably weighed 300 pounds. And now you're trying to get this thing upstairs and you're killing yourself, and the thing is the size of this room. Oh God, that thing was mad, but it was so cool at the time.
I still have my 50-inch 720p plasma TV over in that room.
I love plasma TVs. Man.
And if the heat were to ever go out, I would just turn on the plasma screen TV and just sit in front of it, because it'll warm up the damn room.
That's why they don't sell plasma screen TVs even anymore, even though I much prefer...
Because it's got a pure black, man.
I just prefer the plasma video over LCD. I just love the color of it so much more, but I'm not getting it, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next story. I can't move the mouse.
There we go.
Changes to Heroes of the Storm are coming soon.
Are they? Are they really?
Yes.
What kind of
There's going to be a major update coming for the Heroes of the Storm coming near the end of the year. And this one, my friends, well, So basically, they came out and said, you know what? We're not trying to beat League of Legends or Dota 2 or any of that mobile stuff. We are happy about, what the hell is it called? What did they say? It just sounded like, it's not like they're throwing in the towel, but it's like, yeah, we can't compete with them. High touch tones. But what they're going to do is they're going to make some tweaks. And that is, they're going to make tweaks to the portion of the matches. A time spent growing powerful before you fight the enemy is extremely important.
Basically, more laning.
So for heroes, it has always been a secondary objective, something you do when nothing else is happening on the map. The changes coming at the end of this year aim to extend the laning phase, adding more time spent in 1v1 or 2v1 scenarios rather than all-out brawls. While these changes may seem aimed at making Here's the Storm similar to its main competition, the game director assures us that it isn't the cause.
See, which I don't buy at all, because when Here's the Storm was refused to call Here's the Storm a MOBA in the first place, because we're nothing like the other games like Dota 2 and LoL. But these changes, that's all they are. Like, that's exactly what they sound like to me. Like, this is making them exactly like a MOBA in terms of having more laning, more 1v1, more 2v2. Like, now you're getting back to the MOBA, the traditional MOBA, like a LoL or Dota. So I'm like, I really don't understand what he's actually saying. It's like, he sounds like a politician trying to talk out his ass, basically.
Oh, no. Okay, so I'm going to give you the full statement that he gave. And you're going to probably be scratching your head as to what the hell is this, some crazy-ass Kool-Aid, okay? Our game actually has quite a bit of strategic depth to it. That's one thing that I think that probably people may have gotten the wrong perception. While we think we've refined a lot of the mechanics in the MOBA genre, sometimes people might misunderstand that for being oversimplifying.
Yes.
Where actual players who actually have played the game a lot recognize how deep it can be.
So deep.
Even to the point of potentially being complicated.
What?
With the changes that we made for this 2018 gameplay update, our biggest motivation entirely was around what aspect of our core game do we think we can improve. It wasn't really in relation to any other game or something we wanted to do in terms of the MOBA genre. Which for everything else we do, there's actually a desire to push the MOBA genre when we add in these unique heroes or battleground or whatever. We actually are trying to push the genre. With these changes, we were actually entirely focused on just trying to make core gameplay improvements. Areas where we thought, this works out okay, but we think we can do better here.
Sorry, what?
Okay.
I felt the synergistic goodness coming out of my pores as you said.
What we need to do is come together and learn that we gotta make it better. And try to push what we are to the limit of what we can be. And when we do that, we help everybody. Because then everybody understands the realness that we can bring and then they can bring by copying us. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. Thank you. Are you done?
Yeah.
I got just a second. It's hard to tell some days.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next one. Holy crap, we're so close. Ladies and gentlemen, there is this convention that's happening not this weekend, but the following weekend called Big Fandom Greenville. It will be hosted in Greenville, South Carolina. It will be taking place between November 17th and the 19th. It is a fun convention. It'll be in its second year. And of course, Alter Confusion will be there for the second time. There will be 2 panels, the destruction of the game industry as we know it, and video games today. As well as a fan table for anybody who's in the area who's got the ticket, which, by the way, the ticket's not all that expensive, so get your ass over there, get yourself a ticket, let's hang out, let's chat. I'll be there. I know it's a running joke, but if you want me to sign a can of Mountain Dew, bring me the can and I'll sign the damn thing.
Or his chest.
Sign my own chest? That's a little weird.
You are weird, man.
You want my signature? Okay, cool.
And then you can take a picture of it.
Take a picture!
Yeah, ew.
Anyway, so Big Fan of Greenville. It's happening not this weekend, but following weekend. There's still time to get tickets. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of there's a lot of panels. There's a lot of cool stuff going on there. So you definitely have to check it out. You can do the Zealeus way of finding any information. That, of course, is go to Google and type in Big Fandom Greenville, and it will take you straight to the site.
What are you looking forward to most about Big Fandom Greenville, sir?
It is, in my opinion, it's a great buddy convention. Everybody's basically on a level playing field, even though there are people that are way above me, like successful authors or actors.
Actresses,
cosplayers. Last year, actually, I don't have it right here, right now, but I did buy entire suite of books.
What? Books?
Yeah, and as such, I got, actually, are they over there?
Which set?
Yes! No, up here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Those three, those right next to, okay, you see the lizard one? Those three to the right of the lizard.
Try not to die.
Thank you, Ed. Yeah, bigfanofgreenville.com! And then Zealeus is going to grab something from my last Big Fan of Greenville.
Ones?
No. Those three go to the left, Those three right there. Yep, those. Thank you. I picked up these amazing books last year at Big Fandom Greenville. And of course, I will try to find some authors, perhaps this author, to get more books. So just real quick, a little shout out here. I picked up last year, Follow the Ashes, which is a very good book. Follow the Bloodshed, which I'm doing it out of order, so I apologize. And Follow the Screams.
What?
By Kendra Salder, which I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. But because I bought these three, I also got a signed picture from one of the covers of one of their, I think it was like mini or short stories. It's on that side, so I don't have, it's not easily accessible.
Is that where you bought the Santiago thing too?
No, the Santiago one was from Canuga? Is that right? No. Yeah, I think it was Canuga.
Well, he's also at MonsterCon. Did you buy it there?
No.
Because I know he was there.
No, I know. But he was also a big fan of Greenville.
Oh.
Because I bought him around.
That's what I thought. Because I thought I remember him being a big fan of Greenville.
So no, I didn't buy anything from him there. But
okay.
Oh, here we go. Book 2, book 3. Yeah, I totally did it out of order. Anyways, this is an interesting series with limited covers. I know. Limited cover? Oh, wait. Ooh. One of them's... okay, anyways.
Limited edition covers.
I got lucky, okay? Anyways, check out the series. Yeah, Santiago.
I wish I could go because I just... Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't need to go now. I just heard Santiago. I'm good. That should be the ringtone.
I know.
You could sell that.
He probably could. I bought Santiago around last year because he found out while at Big Fan of Greenville that he got a recurring role on the TV series Nashville.
Nice.
As a police detective, I believe.
That's pretty sweet.
So, anyways, go to Big Fan of Greenville if you're in the area or have the ability to go.
Very nice. Alrighty then, sir.
Shit and Paragold, we bought him more than just one round. Well, okay, real quick, Santiago wouldn't let me buy another round because I got him a round and then I got myself some deliciousness. And I was like, dude, you got to take a whiff of this. And he decided to pound it. And then he's like, oh my God, you almost killed me. Because he tried to shotgun straight whiskey. And so he's like, no, I'm good, guys. I'm good.
So our next one fills me with great glee.
Real quick, Axel is right. Do not have a table near Santiago simply because if you are not a morning person, he's either going to light you up, energize you, or make you wish you were dead. Especially if you have a hangover, because when Santiago walks into a room.
Oh yes,
that's never anything. All right, let's move on to something that makes Zealeus so happy, and so many other people happy that literally they were crying for 15 minutes because of the gloriousness that was discussed.
So, as many of you know, vanilla World of Warcraft has been around many, many years, And the true original real World of Warcraft is called WoW Vanilla, which is basically before Burning Crusade.
There was something before Burning Crusade?
What? The one true WoW to rule them all. And
Wait, I thought the Cataclysm was first.
what? I'll cataclysm you.
Frozen Throne? Something like that.
So, over the years, Blizzard's shut down a few vanilla WoW servers for various reasons, mostly, technically copyright infringement. And they even invited some of the developers of these realms over to the to the World of Warcraft Blizzard headquarters, but nothing came of that, it seemed. Until this past weekend at BlizzCon, where Blizzard announced there will be an official Blizzard Vanilla World of Warcraft server, probably called World of Warcraft Classic.
Yep.
So the idea is you'll come on here to get the pristine original effect of World of Warcraft.
Hold on, time out. So they're just going to call the server World of Warcraft Classic?
Yes.
I mean, come on. You need, like, those creative names. I don't remember what the hell any of those server names were.
Oh, gosh.
But there were, some really cool names. And now it's like, the classic one.
They still exist. Oh, 21 books. Goodness gracious. So the interesting thing is, so like Charlie said, one of the things is people worry like, these vanilla WoW server developers might be like, man, Blizzard's stealing our thunder. Au contraire. These people, it's not like they're making money off. You got to remember, they're making these, pirate servers. It's not like they're making money off of it. I mean, they're losing money off of it, if anything.
Yep.
So they did this out of like pure love for the original version of WoW. So they're actually ecstatic about this, that now they and other people get to enjoy the authentic experience of the classic WoW without the threat of being shut down tomorrow. So my question is just how vanilla is this version of World of Warcraft going to be? Because you got to remember, the original version of World of Warcraft, we see it through rose-tinted glasses. There were a lot of things that sucked about World of Warcraft, such as you really couldn't get a mount until like level 50 because they're too damn expensive. You couldn't even get leveled up your mounting skill until level 40. So those days of like running across Stranglethorn Vale as you got ganked left and right and having to run up and down for hours because your slow-ass body's trying to run. And I forget, it was like the third zone, it was the graveyard zone with all the zombies, and it was like the longest damn run to get across. It's so like some of those quality of life things, like now it's much easier to get a mountain World of Warcraft at low levels. How easier as well is Blizzard going to make it? In order to make your leveling up experience functional, you had to have like 18,000 add-ons, particularly for things like questing. You got to remember, in World of Warcraft Vanilla, there was no, on your screen, like if I'm looking forward at Charlie, I could see a question mark above his head, which is finding great. But the problem is, when I got the quest from him and I have to go kill 5 boars, and mind you, the meat I'm handing into him, I could actually sell for more at the market than the quest giver's giving me, but whatever, is I didn't know where they were. You had to go like on Wowhead and like have like 18 different tabs open to know exactly where you had to go and probably print out a map while you're at it to like mark on your most efficient map way to getting your quest. So eventually you had, add-ons that would then actually mark your quest markers. So certain things like that, I really wonder how is that going to go. It was always a problem when there was a gatekeeper for the raids. So every Tuesday, I forget if it was Tuesday or Thursday, it was one of the two, your raids reset. But it was a dedicated server just for those raids, which meant Tuesday night they all freaking crashed because they couldn't handle it. So some of those things, I wonder how they're going to handle that. And of course, the big question is, there comes to certain games in the game's progression when there's nothing else to do. So once you get to the end of Vanilla WoW's next Ramus raid, like, there's nothing else to do in Vanilla WoW. So it's kind of, is this going to be a permanently classic Vanilla WoW? Because you get to that point, what do? There's nothing else to do. And they're going back to the original PvP, where the grind to get to Grandmaster and Field Marshal was absolutely stupid, and you had to do his full-time job. So certain things like that, I'm really curious. I agree, Axel Thumb. I honestly don't see it makes no sense for me, honestly. Like, I'm glad they're doing it. Honestly, I'm not going to pick it up because I remember what a god-awful time sink it was. I mean, I love that time of my video game career, but unless you're doing it like as a full-time job, you basically can't really do the proper rating in vanilla WoW. Which is part of, I guess, it's lore because it's true, hardcore, real rating, and not this crappy stuff they see now.
Well, a lot of the reason why these individuals created this underground server was that they believed the current incarnation of World of Warcraft lacked challenge and
Yes.
the community feel of the real game.
Now, the community feel I get, because one of the issues, and I do agree with this actually, is, and it's not just World of Warcraft, this is all MMOs, is you have looking for party, and then it's all cross-realm, cross-shard, whatever your MMO choice is. So what that means is, I want to go do a dungeon, a 5-person dungeon. I just press Q for dungeon. I'm a healer. I randomly get assigned with 4 people. We don't talk. We just go kill shit, which is all fine and great. Back in the day, I remember you're sitting there waiting at the entrance of Dead Mines. 3 DPS, 1 healer, LFT, because you're looking for a tank. And just sit there. Now, on one hand, it was kind of painful because you'd sit there spamming, looking for tank, and it's kind of obnoxious. On the other hand, you actually had to authentically communicate and know who was on your realm. I mean, when I was rolling into PvP on my one single realm, I knew who everybody was, both Horde and Alliance. And there was something about that community feel about the original WoW that I really liked. It's the same thing. Even people who were in my Alliance or my guild, I knew who they were. And you just don't really get that in MMOs anymore. I mean, take what Destiny 2's done, where there's just no freaking game chat. Like, screw it. There's no chat whatsoever. We're just eliminating it. You can whisper, that's it. That's like obviously the far end of the spectrum. So kind of that community feel of WoW, I really liked. I'd be surprised. I don't see this really, it's a small little hardcore contingent of vanilla WoW. It's really, in the grand scheme of things, not a very big population that's going to play it. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to like play it for a month and be like, wow, this really is terrible. Like, these improvements that Blizzard and other MMO developers have made, yeah, let's just go back to the modern MMO and not go 15 years into the past.
Well, I'd be very interested to see how much they kind of look at the underground servers to see what changes they might have made.
Yeah.
Because this is an actual senior software engineer job posting that just went up for Classic WoW.
Yep.
Travel back in time to the world of Warcraft before the mist of Pandaria parted, and before Deathwing broke the world, when Black Rock Mountain, the temple of
Encore,
and the floating citadel of Naxxramas
Yeah, that's the last raid.
were the most difficult challenges in Azeroth. The World of Warcraft team is working on bringing that world back to our players with Classic WoW, and we need engineers to help us bring the past into the present. Responsibilities include building gameplay systems, transforming database data, building UI elements, repackaging binary distribution, and working closely with designers to revive the classic game elements.
And to your point, I totally agree. When I was playing vanilla WoW, I was out of college. I had my first real job. I basically went to work, came home at 4:30, and played WoW from 5 to 9 because that was raiding time every Tuesday through Thursday. 4 nights a week, raiding 20 hours, and we didn't even clear Naxxramas, the final raid. And I was raiding 20 freaking hours a week. Mm-hmm. And I think also to the point of gamers don't function like that anymore. I don't want to say it's casual, but the way that gamers play, it's in and out. I mean, you play a lot of dungeons now. They're 30-minute dungeons. You pop in, you go, you fill a few bosses, you're out. It's not like Blacklingware and Molten Core where you're sitting there for 3 hours to clear a damn raid. That's just not gamers' mentality. And even look at those damn millennials with no attention span. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see them sitting in 3-hour raids or, practicing the same content. And that's the other thing that I think is very big different now is when we were clearing those vanilla raids where you really had to be hardcore. Mm-hmm. I mean, we spent 3 months clearing Blackwing Lair, which meant every night you're spending hours practicing that same boss over and over and over. You just don't see that in games now. And the other thing is so I'm talking about the raiding in WoW. That was 1% of the entire gaming population, and we're talking 1% of the population. in World of Warcraft is actually doing these in-game raids. See, it's, yes, they have millions of players, but except for like the 1% people who are like me, I was the 1% of World of Warcraft, there's absolutely zero incentive to play vanilla WoW.
So Axdom says, just based on the job description, this won't be vanilla, which is probably why they're going with World of Warcraft Classic.
Sure.
We keep calling it vanilla because that's what everyone, that's basically...
That's the vernacular term,
right.
Yeah.
They're going to update it to deal with some of the complaints, which is why I'm curious to see if they're actually going to look at the underground servers and what they've changed, not, dive into the code. Maybe they will, because they could just shut it down and grab all the stuff because it is their intellectual property, but whatever.
Now, I do know I did look at some of the servers, and a lot of them do have XP boost built into leveling up. Because leveling up, the grind was painful. There's just no other way of putting it. And people who are used to the world, the current MMO mechanic, would not slog through World of Warcraft vanilla to level up to 60.
You're not going to kill thousands of boars in the woods so you can become powerful enough to take on that one guy who's killing everyone on the server?
Yeah.
I love that episode of South Park is the best. Make love, not Warcraft.
Yes.
Ed says, I think the fact that many phones are app compliant with games now, and people cannot play like that because they are playing on lunch breaks or shitter breaks or whatever. Yep.
I mean, look at these.
No one really, to be honest with you, not a lot of people have the ability to have that much of a time sink into doing that one thing unless you're absolutely 100% hardcore. But that's not the vast majority of gamers. They want to be able to jump in and out. That's why MOBAs are very popular because, yeah, they could go long, but if one team really sucks, it could go super duper short. I've lost a match of Smite playing Assault, which is just a one lane, random assigned gods for both sides, and we lost in under 8 minutes.
I mean, look no further than WildStar. WildStar is supposed to be the successor. WildStar is basically a response to World of Warcraft getting easy. And the idea is WildStar is like, let's go back to the hardcore raids where it's difficult. Sorry, people are just past. I mean, it's fine if it's difficult. It's that painful grind that people are over and just don't. I mean, going back to World of Warcraft vanilla, I remember I had to level up my damn factions to get my cold resistance up enough to do a certain thing. People just don't do that anymore regularly. I mean, there's always going to be exceptions.
Right.
But by and large, it's just a very different gaming population now with different expectations than it was 15 years ago. And let's be fair, the only reason Blizzard can do this is because they're Blizzard.
Yeah.
Like, they can afford to potentially lose some money on this because it's Blizzard and they're making hands over fist on other games like, HOTS and Overwatch and everything else. The millions of dollars buy-ins for the Overwatch League. So they can afford to do this. I'd just be curious. I wouldn't be surprised at some point it kind of goes the EverQuest where they start releasing the old content.
Which Axdom said previously.
Did he say that up there?
Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
EverQuest tried to do that. They eventually started upgrading. And I wouldn't be surprised, sometime down the road, it's, they come out with Burning Crusade. It's interesting. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting, but I just don't have the desire to go back into it. Unless they do some big time quality of life improvements, which they will do. I mean, I would be shocked. I'd be super shocked if they don't do the actual things like, have quest markers on your map, much easier to get mounts. I mean, I would be very surprised if they make getting mounts as painful. I'm sure they're going to do the increase in XP so you're not, grinding, killing lizards out in the Badlands because you have nothing else to do. So a lot of those things, I would imagine they're going to make significantly easier. Because let's be honest, the only reason you're going to play WoW Classic is to do 40-man raids. That's the only incentive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know that we could talk about World of Warcraft forever, but we've got a couple more topics that we want to talk about. Of course, we do want to once again say congratulations to Andocon's Kickstarter!
Endercon!
As they surpassed their goal, and so Andocon is going on, which I think would already be going on, but it would be a little bit weird if we didn't reach the goal. But they did. Andocon, of course, is happening March 9th through the 11th, 2018, in the Peachtree Corners Marriott.
Yes.
Of course, Andocon is basically, it is a gaming convention. However, it's not a video game convention. It's more of like pencil and paper, tabletop, board games, card games, and there's going to be quite a few independent creators that are going to have beta versions of the game that you can either sign up for or maybe just even walk to a table and you could play a couple rounds of something that no one else has ever played. And then, of course, you can. It's one of those conventions where literally you could. There's going to be people who are looking for extra people to play a board game or a card game, and they will teach you it. And
The people are nice and friendly and all that good stuff. Yeah, it's good times. Definitely check it out. I'm looking forward to it already.
Ultra Confusion, of course, will be there supporting it, and I will be doing some video work. And probably not, I don't know if I could stream or not, but I will be doing some recording for Andocon so we can post it on the internet as soon as I have the ability to like edit it and put it on. So if you have the ability, it's in March, so you still got a ton of time. Definitely, at least bare minimum, andocon.org. Check it out.
Check it out.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it really is. And to be honest with you, I've met some really cool people through Andocon, and I've
Like Craig.
Craig Campbell, the mastermind behind Merz and Acquisitions, Capers, and Die Laughing.
That's how I met Ando.
Of course, Ando, the man himself. I also met Louis Puster III
yes.
at Andocon, and now I own all of his books.
Of course you do.
I need the next book,
The
Louis.
Saga of Ukamon.
Yeah, Ukamok. It's a great place to meet people. I highly recommend. It's so laid back and it's a lot of fun. So go check out andocon.org.
I think Charlie's a fan.
I am a fan. All right, let's get on to some sad news. Ladies and gentlemen, as you probably know, there is a company out there called TellTale Games. They basically cornered the market on perfecting the episodic adventure game. Unfortunately,
Charlie's genre.
Unfortunately, they have announced that they're going to be restructuring themselves, and 25% of the workforce is going to be laid off. The reason behind this is that they are kind of they're kind of scaling down the vast amount of different titles they've been working on. They had the Back to the Future one, they had the Borderlands one, they have the Walking Dead one, they had the Wolf Among Us one, they had a Game of Thrones one. They just had a bunch of different ones, and I think that they basically the quality started suffering with the extra entries for TellTale. So they're going to scale back. They're going to probably get back to their core games. I'm not sure which one, with the exception of Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, they've already decided, I think it's like season 4, they've already got it ready to go. Of course, they're going to release it episodically. But have no fear, the Walking Dead one is sticking around. It's some of them that they probably just dipped their toe in the water that may not come back. But it is a little bit sad that this move, 25% of the workforce, is going to cause 90 employees to lose their job, unfortunately. So the restructuring is not expected to impact the releases of any of the company's previously announced projects. So what they have currently that they have announced is Minecraft Story Mode, which, whatever, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then the 4th and final entry into the Walking Dead series. I'm gonna be honest, I loved Wolf Among Us, and I wish that they would release a second season of that.
And to Axel Them's point, TellTale Games, that has another game type, episodic, that may have run its course. And I hear what you're saying, because it seemed like for a while there, especially for the indie devs, like it seems like the go-to type of game kind of goes in waves. And for a while there, it seemed like that stereotype for indie games was the episodic point-and-click type of games. Like, that's all they were. I think
However, no one knew the freaking structure of how to successfully do an episodic release outside of TellTale and a couple others.
And that's why I think TellTale will. I think they're different because I think they can go on. Like, they can withstand that surge because they weren't just a flash in the pan like, oh, everybody else is doing, episodic games. Let's do them too. That's what they do. So I think you're right. I definitely think we're seeing, the running the course for episodic games and that it's kind of leveling out to where it was before. But I still think there's going to always be that marketplace for the point-and-click episodic games, just not the deluge that we saw for a while there.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of components that go into an episodic game that not a lot of developers understand. TellTale's got it down. It's the length of the episode. It's the fluidness of the episode. It's the ability to successfully not lose the drive between episodes, because once upon a time, there's a couple of episodic games that we reviewed. The unfortunate thing was it was basically an episode every year and a half. That is insanely stupid.
You're going to forget about it by then.
Yeah, I'd get emails going, hey, we released the second episode. I'd be like, what game is this?
I have to replay the first one just to remember what happened in the second one? Nah, I'm good.
And you potentially are probably going to have to play the first one over again. And there was one game that you get to play the first episode for free. It was 45 minutes long. Then the second game, of course, I was reviewing it, so I got the review copy for free. However, if you weren't getting the review copy, you had to pay $4.99, which is not bad, but it's another 45-minute game. All right, so sad to hear that, but of course, TellTale will continue to move on, at least through the Walking Dead series. Okay, now this is one that makes me laugh and want to punch someone at the same time.
Isn't that usually the case when we see anything about EA?
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as many of you have probably heard, I have very little love for EA Sports, simply because I think they basically had us by the cojones for years, milking us for $60 a year for something that literally is like a roster update and a small little tweak. And I'm going to tell you my stupid little story or theory behind EA Sports, because I think someone finally figured out that that's exactly what they're doing. So I believe that EA Sports, for each one of their sports divisions, has a very large corkboard. And it basically takes up an entire wall. And on that corkboard is different features and mechanics within the game. The lead developer then grabs two darts. One is what we like to call the enhancement dart. And the other one we would like to call mechanic slightly broken dart. And what he does is he throws the darts on the thing. And then he goes, aha, this year Madden will have a better running back spin move.
Ooh.
However, the quarterback vision mode is going to have a slight tweak to make it not so good.
That's lame.
And we'll sell you it for $60 along with a roster update.
That in 2 years you can no longer play online.
Right, because every single 2 years, EA Sports turns off the server. So let's say technically, I think it's like Madden 18 now. So Madden 18 and Madden 17 are online. Madden 16, there is no online play because they don't want you to keep playing their games. Now they've made a statement. It's not in concrete, but they are thinking about perhaps doing a subscription service that would allow publisher to treat the game as a 365-day live service. Instead of buying the game every year, you might pay a regular fee or download content to keep it relevant, i.e. just a roster update, which is that's all they want. They don't give a shit about, oh look, I can spin a little bit better if I go to the left with this game.
I'm super excited about this. Aren't you?
The two big games that potentially could be affected by this change, of course, is going to be Madden and FIFA.
Yes.
Which, of course, a lot of people are like, not FIFA! But, whatever, man.
Welcome to 2017, EA.
All right, we're going to skip that last topic because that is a discussion that we don't have time for.
Fair enough.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to remind you that Ultra Confusion has a Patreon. And Patreon allows individuals like you to do a monthly donation to Ultra Confusion to help us do what we do and maybe even better. If you really like what we're doing and you have the ability to maybe donate or pledge a little bit of money, doesn't matter how much, to us, that would help us, allow us to go to conventions, which I'm, once
Like
again,
Big Fandom Greenville.
I am so excited that we were able to obtain enough money to basically pay for the Big Fandom Greenville, because of course that helps with the hotel costs, because we don't get a free hotel. We're not that big of awesome people.
Someday.
I think so.
You are, with your Mountain Dew cans in hand.
I know. The signed Mountain Dew cans, nonetheless.
Maybe that's what you should get for your badge.
Like, I have a signed Mountain Dew can with my name on
Just
it.
ask
Give me a
Dave.
badge. Yeah, just ask Dave. We usually get, if we're going to be a speaker, we usually get a badge, unless you're a certain convention. The fan tables, sometimes they're free, sometimes they're not. But most of the time, the electricity is not free for said table. That, of course, incurs a cost.
Yes.
And, of course, if it's outside the state, of course, the hotel. And I don't worry about the damn travel. I'll cover the freaking travel. I don't care about that.
I think it counts. It all counts.
Right, but the thing is, the more money that Ultra Confusion, because I'm going to be honest, Ultra Confusion has been around for 10 years. It's been coming out of my back pocket for all 10 years. And we've had to scale back in a lot of areas, which is very sad for me because I want to give you everything that Ultra Confusion has, but realistically, I can't keep that pace up, which is why we created a Patreon to help us cover some of the financial side of things. Now, of course, if there is something that you like from Ultra Confusion, maybe to enhance, maybe to help, you can, of course, reach out to us via any of these social media sites that are, of course, going across the bottom of the screen. If you are, of course, listening to the audio version of this, us pointing at things doesn't matter. So our website is www.ultraconfusion.com. Our Facebook,
Ultra Confusion.
Twitter,
At Ultra Confusio without the N because
the N would break the internet.
then there's YouTube.
Altered Confusion LLC.
And then there is Instagram.
We don't have an Instagram.
What about a...
Then, of course, we have Twitch, which, of course, if you're watching this live, you found us. If you're not, it's twitch.tv/ultraconfusion every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Can we get a kick?
A kick?
Yeah. What about a Vine or a house
Vine's
party?
gone.
Oh, house party.
What the hell is a house party?
I learned about a house party today.
Okay, whatever.
Apparently all the kids are using it.
It's what those crazy kids are doing. Now, of course, if you do want to make a donation to Ultra Confusion, but you don't want it to pledge monthly, there is, of course, a Donate Now button either below this video if you're watching it live, or if you can go to our website and there's a Donate Now button on the left-hand side, the left-hand panel. But of course,
Snapchat.
no, God, no. Well, yeah, there is a Snapchat, but no. If there, like I said, literally, if there's something, if you want to help write, review, web design, music, whatever, if you want to help Ultra Confusion some way, the easiest thing for everyone to do, which is really easy, I think.
How easy?
Really easy.
Okay.
If you see something from Ultra Confusion that you like, not only like it or love it, but share it. That helps us immensely because the more people that we can get to add to the conversation and to add additional topics to said conversation allows us to have a more, you don't like the pre-show music, like the pre-show music or the intro music, because that's two different things. But seriously, if there's something that you would like to help with Ultra Confusion, we're very, very open to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, if you'll knock down one more, I'd like to thank everybody who tuned into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything coming out of our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Thursday Night Hangout, and of course, that is one day removed from Big Fandom Greenville.
Actually,
So,
one day before Big Fandom.
that's what I said, one day before.
You said removed.
Oh, whatever. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.